Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday, September the 25th, and I'm sat here with Jonah. Hope you're doing well. Jonah is sat with me. He's always with me, as you know. And lots of people in recent weeks have been asking me questions about Jonah, and asking me to talk about Jonah. So today, in this little episode, I'm just going to talk all about Jonah. So this is his moment. He's sat with me right now. Let's see how long he stays with me, because before he gets tired and wants to go down. But this is Jonah. He's 9 years old. He's going to be 10 on October the 9th. So he's he's getting up there in years, a bit like me, but he's still kind of fairly youthful, and he's good company. He's a 9-year-old Shih Tzu, and he's been with me ever since he's about 2 months old. So why have I got him? How did I come about getting him? Well, I grew up with a dog. As we were kids, we always had a West Highland Terrier, a Westie, and so we were used to having dogs in the house. And then when I was pastor at St. Jerome Parish, after about 6 or 7 years, I started to think about, well, how could I make my life slightly more domesticated? If you know anything about priests, we live in rectories, which tend to be like residences which are full of, corridors or hallways and doors, and it's not very homely. So I was thinking, how could I possibly make it slightly more homely? And it occurred to me that maybe I should get a dog. And at the time, my mother and my father, they had a Shih Tzu dog whose name was Alfie, and my younger brother, he had 2 of them. And they seemed to be like good dogs to have. They're not too noisy, they're quiet and sort of easygoing, kind of like lap dogs really, but good to have around. So, oh, here he goes now, he wants to go down. So I set about trying to find a Shih Tzu for myself. And at the time I had an associate, Father Luis Valerio, and I mentioned it to him. I said I was thinking about getting a dog in the house because it might be a good distraction for us, because believe it or not, the life of a priest really is all about you, the parishioners. We're kind of focused, all day on issues regarding the parish and parishioners, which is a good thing, but we also need to be distracted, and I figured the dog would be a good thing. And he thought it was a good thing, and he said, well, if you decide to get a dog, then I will help you with him. So that was the seed sown. So I started to look online for, Shih Tzu kennels in the Chicago area. And something came up online, and it showed the availability of Shih Tzus. And I contacted them, and they showed me the pictures of those which were available. And I looked at this really, really cute one, and it was Jonah, and I said, well, I'd really like that one. How much is it? And the answer came back to me was, well, how much do you want to give us? Now, I'd heard that, that you could pay up to maybe $1,000 for a Shih Tzu, and I thought, well, I don't really want to pay that much, but if I have to, I will. So I said, well, how about $300? And they said, oh, fine, that's great, And so it was arranged that I should go on such and such a date to pick up Jonah. And so myself and Father Luis, we went to pick up Jonah. Now, here's the thing, you see. Did this search for sort of kennels in the vicinity of Chicago where we were living, but the place where I was sent to go and pick Jonah up, was the parking lot of a hotel in Morton Grove. Right? Sounds a bit strange. Anyway, it turned out that that Jonah was the product of a puppy mill somewhere way down in southern Illinois, and the vendor's name was using an address in Chicago, but it was southern Illinois. So me and Father Luis had to drive out to this hotel, and it was in January. Yeah, it was January. It was cold to pick up Jonah from a parking lot in a hotel. And so, as we were driving out there, thinking, well, what's he going to be like? What's he going to look like? We were quite excited, I suppose. So, anyway, having this conversation as we're driving, well, what are we going to call him? So what should we call him? So we decided that to kill the time, we would go through the alphabet and shout out what names came to mind. So, it'd be like sort of A would be Alan, Arnold, Alfie, etc., etc. And if we liked them, we would sort of put the name aside. And so when it came to Jonah, it was like Jerome, James, Jimmy, and then either he said it or I said Jonah, and we both thought, that sounds okay. So we put it on the side, and we just continued. And anyway, it came down to like three different names, and we decided that if Jonah looked like a Jonah, we would call him Jonah because we liked that name best of all, and it was biblical and what have you. So we got to the hotel, and then we just sat in the parking lot, feeling rather shady, thinking we were going to do something illegal. And then all of a sudden, this huge trailer truck pulls into the parking lot. You see, big trailer, and somebody gets out the back and comes over to us, and gets into the car, makes us sign a document, gives us a bag of food, and then goes to the back of the truck, pulls the door open of the truck, and reaches in and pulls out this little dog and comes and puts it in our arms. And that was it. That was it. So I'm figuring that the truck was full of dogs, full of dogs. And so we that's how we got Jonah. And then we drove him home, and I was driving, and Luis had him in his arms, and he was a very nervous little dog. Jonah's listening now, actually. And we had this little blanket for him, wrapped him up, but he was a tiny little thing, and we took him home, and it took him a while to settle down because I think that he'd been in the back of the truck for about 7 hours, so he must have been rather upset. So in some ways, it kind of like set kind of his little personality from an early age. He was kind of a nervous, timid little dog, and but he soon found a home with us at St. Jerome, and we used to take it in turns, to walk him in the morning and in the night, and then to feed him. And he's been great company ever since, and even like his official name down on the books of the vet is actually Jonah Valerio, because we took him to the vet to have his first examination, and they asked for like first name and last name, and we thought that Jonah Valerio sounded better than Jonah Thomas. So his official name is in fact Jonah Valerio, in honor of my former associate. And then you see, my associate was only with me at St. Jerome for like 5 or 6 years, and then he moved on to a different place, and he decided that that Jonah is better to stay with me, and so Jonah remained with me, and he's been with me ever since, and he's been great company. I find Jonah's company is very soothing. And he's kind of good therapy, really. He's a good therapy dog, and cheap therapy, if you like, in some ways. It may sound slightly crazy, but as time has gone on, I start to wonder, what his function is in my life, and I do really think sometimes these little dogs are like angels, When you think about what the function of an angel is, apart from like giving praise to God in heaven, angels they're the function of like bringing messages to you, of protecting you and healing you. That's what they do. That's what the archangels did, you see. So like Jonah brings me messages. if somebody's close by, he lets me know. If he hears something, he warns me, so he gives me messages. And obviously he protects me. He barks. He keeps close to me. He thinks he's very protective of me too. If he barks, it's because I'm around and he wants to let me know that he's protecting me. And then he's also healing in the sense that, he's always happy to see me. The love is kind of unconditional, and he's just a very calming influence in my life. So that's Jonah, and you can't quite see him now, but he's talking to me. He can see me talking about him, and he's just reclined there, kind of like showing his belly. He likes to have his belly rubbed. He likes treats. He has way too many treats, especially since he came to Church of the Holy Spirit, because you keep giving us treats, right? Right, Jonah? But he eats once a day, and his food is like a mixture of kibble, which I add a little spot of water and I warm it in the microwave, and then I put a spoon of canned pumpkin and mix it all up, and he eats it, Some years ago he had some trouble with his digestion, so somebody said, spoon of pumpkin with his food, and the dogs like it, and he does like it, and so that's what he eats. So he eats once a day, and then he has treats, at night and again in the morning. So he walks about twice a day. In fact, he's due a walk now, but I'll take him later on, But apart from that, he just likes to be around me. And if anybody has seen Jonah around me, he kind of like follows me, everywhere I go, to the point where he'll be underneath my feet sometimes. I'm afraid I will step on him. If I go to the bathroom, he has to follow me into the bathroom. If I go to the kitchen, he's following me into the kitchen. He wants to see what I'm doing. They're curious little dogs who's very interested in where I'm going and what I'm doing. And he follows me wherever I go. Having said that, he's very good when I leave him in the house. And I try not to leave him too long alone, because these little dogs, they like company, and I think that he would get anxious or depressed if I left him too much on his own. But I leave him more or less when I go say mass, he remains in the house. But he's quite happy to be on his own, sat on the couch having a sleep while I'm doing the work in the church. And then I generally, after mass, as you know, I will come and get him from the house immediately to come back and greet you as well. He kind of likes people, but he's the kind of dog that he doesn't like you to pick him up. He has to come to you. So if he wants to be picked up, he'll come to you. But generally, he doesn't like to be people trying to grab him, or he kind of gets a bit nervous of that. He doesn't, he's not very socialized with dogs. He's more used to humans than dogs. He tends to be fonder of like bigger dogs than smaller dogs. And sometimes he's just plain indifferent to dogs, He's out walking and doing his own thing, and he's quite happy with that. Some people ask me, have I traveled much with him? Like, has he been to Wales with me? And the answer to that is no. I think if from an early age I had actually started to travel with him on the plane, then I think it would be okay. But I think to do it now at this age, he just doesn't have the nerve for it, I would say. So I do have a very good dog sitter who always takes care of Jonah when I'm away, and I know that he's safe with her. In fact, I did a 6-month sabbatical, some years ago, and I was able to leave Jonah with her, and he was fine. Well, I think he was fine. I wouldn't do it again, but I did leave him with her, and he seemed fine when I got back, But apart from that, he travels with me in the car, Sometimes he's been even with me to the grocery store. He doesn't like the car too much. He finds it, I think, slightly annoying, or it makes him anxious. So we do as little of that as possible. And a few years ago, I took him on a road trip to Arizona, and it was kind of okay for a bit, but after a while it became too difficult for him, I think, and probably too difficult for me. As you can see, I'm talking to you about Jonah as if he's a human being, and that might be my problem. But he's a very wonderful, loving canine who is kind of an important part of my life these days. And it seems to be an important part of my ministry, because most people here in the parish seem to be far more interested in him than they are in me, and which is perfectly okay by me. I'm quite happy for you to be more interested in Jonah than me. So he's been with me now, yes, coming on for 10 years, and hopefully he'll be with us for many more years. I think that about covers about Jonah. He's white and grey and a bit of dark, almost black. You can come and say hello. Come on. I'm not sure if he wants to come. Let me go get him. Come on, Jonah. No. Actually, now he's hiding. He's hiding in the corner because he thinks I'm going to pick him up. So he's obviously a little bit camera shy. Now, my other reason for actually talking about Jonah today on this day, apart from the fact that you want to know about him, is to remind you that we're approaching the feast day of St. Francis of Assisi, October the 4th. Okay, that's a week this coming Sunday. So what we're doing here at Church of the Holy Spirit is having the pet blessing for on the Feast of St. Francis of Assisi on the Saturday, the 3rd of October at 10:30 a.m. And so we want to invite you to bring your pets, be it dogs, cats, reptiles, birds. They're all welcome to bring them to the Church of the Holy Spirit and receive a special blessing on that day. And then, yeah, maybe your dogs will make friends or your cats will make friends, but it'll be good to see you all with us at that time. And if for some reason you're not able to join us or you don't have a pet, you can still actually join us for the pet blessing on October the 3rd by watching us online. We're going to stream the pet blessing on October 3rd at 10:30. And you'll be able to see some of the animals that make up the great family of the Church of the Holy Spirit. And you'll see Jonah there with me. He'll get a blessing and we'll all pray together. I mean, all part of God's wonderful creation, no? I'm sorry that Jonah doesn't want to come and say goodbye to you this afternoon, but he's looking very shy. You going to come? You going to come? Do you want a treat? Would you like a treat? Oh, he's coming to me now. You going to come? Come on. He's kind of smart. He's very smart. You going to come? You want to come here? Somebody gave me these very cool kind of like dog treats, natural dog treats. Okay, he wants the treat. He wants the treat, but he doesn't want to come and sit on me. You going to come up? Come on, come on. I'm afraid not. No, he's disappeared. Anyway, I'll give him his treat. I'll wish you a happy Friday for now. I'll see a lot of you at Mass this coming Sunday or Saturday evening. Oh, there you are. Jonah? Oh, he's maybe on camera. He's getting his treat for being a good boy. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next Friday. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.